Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me, and you're welcome to 3PM Network Podcast. Our commitment stays the same. We are committed to developing and empowering young people in the Black communities by creating opportunities for social and career development. Today's conversation promises to be an amazing one. But before we begin, I'd like to know where you're listening from. Let me know in the comments where you're listening from. Some people are listening on LinkedIn, I understand. Others are listening on YouTube. So let me know what location you're listening from because today's conversation promises to be amazing. When I read the profile of the guest, I was like, okay, I'm so looking forward to having this conversation. So my guest today is no other than DayoIce. Now, Dayo is an exceptional person. Is what I would call the creative's creative. He's a business strategist, an international MC, an author, a creative thinker. Yes, I use that word, a creative thinker. And he is passionate about seeing MCs in small businesses grow into large and profitable businesses, which is what we want to happen in the community we are creating. But Dayo just didn't start there. Okay, if he's listening from London, Dayo has a master's in media and communications from the prestigious Pan Atlantic University, and he has built a name for himself over the past years. He's an MC in the events industry that has hosted, just wait for it, over 500 events. 500 events in Nigeria and over 100 around the world. So he knows what he is doing. And he doesn't just do that, he does something that is close to our hearts. He mentors and he has coached over 100 MCs and entrepreneurs. So that's something we are passionate about. He's a Christian that believes that work and creative thinking, strategic plans, and prayers are the way to win. So without further ado, I'll bring to the stage Dio Ice. Hello, Dio Ice. How are you doing today?
DK, how you doing? I'm good. What
Oh,
about you?
it's so good to meet you. I know I read a long, long, long profile about you, and everybody's wondering, well, who is this amazing Dio Ice? So I will let you introduce yourself and tell us something exceptional that no one knows about you.
Okay, my name is DayoIce, and I think virtually everything that needs to be known about me, I think you already mentioned. Although I dare say, uh, I'm the future of the MC industry. Or let me put it this way, so it doesn't sound arrogant. I'm one of the frontier of the MC industry in Nigeria.
Okay.
So I'm one of the guys that I made people believe, or MCs and other entrepreneurs believe, you
Mhm.
can be in Lagos and you can also fly around the world to deliver and do this thing we are doing. So basically, I'm the front runner. I'm the lead front runner in Nigeria, Africa at large. There is an MC, and there is also taking this gift and business around the world.
I think that is absolutely fantastic. There's something I always say. You can leave local but reach a global audience, and you're doing just that with your creative work. But we've talked about creative work and we talk about creativity. Some people say creativity is a gift because you said you help other MCs. Do you think that's a correct statement? Is creativity a gift or are people naturally born creative? But before you answer that question, what is creativity?
Okay, so creativity for me would be the ability to do something extraordinary from DK is not online.
I'm right here. I was just giving you the stage.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. So creativity is I'm gonna say creativity is the ability to do something extraordinary from what seemed ordinary or doing something extraordinary than what other people can do. So basically, when you do something every other person finds difficult to do when it comes to you easily, you can say that person is creative. So I don't know if I should go to answer the second question where you said, can it be learned? And
Yes, you
I
can.
don't know, can
The
you give
floor is
me?
yours.
Okay, so for me, I'm going to use Whiskey and Davido, for example. We all know that they are both great musicians, they are legends in their own right. But we all know that for someone like Whiskey, he can actually sing. Whiskey can actually sing. Whiskey has been singing for years. And we know Davido too can sing, but not as much as Whiskey, right? But Davido has actually learned over time. he has developed himself. He puts in much more effort than most musicians that we know. So this tells you that creativity also can be learned, even though the people that owns this. So creativity and talent, I think they are interwoven, sort of, right? So someone, when you say someone is creative, you can also say the person is talented, right? So creativity talent can be learned, but it might not be as good as someone that is gifted, that is talented with that gift. I don't know if you get my point. So we can say, oh, this person is an amazing, and there are also there are some talents, some creative fields that probably can learn from. It has to come, like it's just like drawing.
Yeah.
An art. If you are not an artist, you can learn till tomorrow. Something doesn't come naturally. If
True.
it doesn't come naturally, you might struggle a bit. But yes, people can learn. People can learn on the job. So I don't know if most of us know Kwamwan, the popular
Yes.
legend Kwamwan. Do you know that Kwamwan initially was a backup? It wasn't even a backup.
Really?
It wasn't a backup. He was one of the people that packed drums, pack instruments for the late barista.
Wow.
Yes. So it
Okay,
wasn't.
you're dropping some gems.
Yes. So it wasn't even a singer at all. Kwame wasn't a singer, right? He was just like he was not even behind the scene. He was like outside the scene. But with time, he got to earn his skill, he got to learn, and we can see that we can see that over the years, he's now moved into the legendary status. So yes, you can learn it, but trust me, it's not all okay. Let me put it this way. Yes, you can learn the creative process, but not all creative process or talents can be learned, right? So even a talented person, if you also don't put in the work, then you see someone that is not creative making money and more popular than you. So let's use AY comedian for an example. A lot of people will tell you AY is not funny, AY is this, AY is that. But the truth is, AY is arguably in Nigeria presently, AY is arguably the richest comedian in Nigeria right now. And he's not funny. Do you get it? So you can also be creative, talented, and not make money from whatever it is you're doing. And you can also be like a Kwamwan or like an AY that you're not so creative like the main folks, right? But you're making money from it. So that comes from mentorship, comes from knowing the business side of what you're doing. So I'm gonna stop here for now. I believe.
Honestly, you've given me so much thoughts. So I'm going to kind of divert a little from what we originally discussed. You talked about some things about creativity, talent, and you use good examples that we all could already recognize in the industry. But you also talked about something, the business of creativity. And that some people don't have that business style. They're quite creative, but they just don't understand the business of creativity. So I have a question. When it comes to creativity, when it becomes business, for some people, it becomes boring. They lose their creativity. What's your advice to people of how they can merge both and understand that it's not just about being creative, but it's about understanding the business of creativity? For example, you sign a contract, you don't realize you're signing all your rights away for an artist, and there are certain things that happen in the creative industry. So, what will you say about that?
Business, even if you're a creative person, business doesn't have to be boring. So it's a two-way thing, right? You can be a creative, talented person, and you don't want to make money from it. That's perfect. You just have passion, you just enjoy doing it, but you don't want to make money from it. If you don't want to make money from it, you don't have anything to do with business. You can just do it for charity and the likes, right? But if you want to make money from your talents, from your creativity, you need to learn the business part of your creativity. So a lot of even my colleague, even entrepreneurs, business people, talented people, musicians all around us, a lot of them are very good, but they don't even know the business part of what they are doing. So the business part of each talent needs to be learned. And one of the very best ways to do this is by mentorship. So one of the things I advise people at the initial stages, see, when you want to, when you have a talent and you've earned your skills, you've learned from the right people, you need to look at the people making money from this thing. You need to look for people making money from it. You need to read books. You need to talk to people. You need to talk to mentors. So once you've learned from these people, it will be easy for you to learn the business part of your talent. See Vicky James, for example. Vicky James, I believe most of us know her. She's a Nigerian, one of the number one of the top fashion designers we have in Nigeria, right? Vicky James charges $15,000-$20,000 for an outfit from Lagos, Nigeria, right? Of course, she has outfit that she sells out for $2,000, $5,000, right? My point is this: Vicky James is like every other tailor, but Vicky James have learned the art of branding, learned the art of positioning, learned the art of pricing, learned the art of putting yourself out there. It is not enough to be talented. You can be talented and be broke. Like I said earlier, AY is not the best comedian, but AY is the best and the perfect business person. He knows the business part of being a comedian. He knows how to do the right thing. He knows how to sell the right product. He knows how to do the right thing at the right time. He knows the campaign and the adverts to push out at the right time. And this age of trending and being out there, we also need to learn these things. So now, if by chance you're not a business person, you can't see the business, then you might need to take seminars. You might need to talk to business analysts. People that can really place all these rules down and tell you, oh, this is where you are. This is where. So you need to talk to coaches. You need to talk to mentors. We have people doing this. One of the things I fear is for me to. I don't want to come out tomorrow and start saying, now we started this industry. And you are there. There's nothing to write home about. There's nothing to write home about. So that happens to most people that have not learned the business part of their talent. So as an entrepreneur, as a business person, as a talented and a creative person that wants to make money from whatever it is you're doing, you need to know the business part of what you're doing. So you can do this through mentorship, signing up with a coach, talking to someone that is already doing this and learning from them. So I believe I was able to answer
I
this.
think you have
Okay.
hit a nail on the head, as in, without knowing it, you quoted some things from one of my favorite books on coaching, and it's called Win Without Pitching Manifesto. The book talks about the fact that at first, when we get started with our creative work or creative thinking, we think it's fun. We're enjoying ourselves. We're enjoying the whole process. So we just keep going. But it gets to a time when, in order for you to be creative and to express your creative gifts, you need actually financial resources to do this. You can no longer just do this blindsided. You need financial resources. Then it becomes, those financial resources kind of become like a burden. Then you'll be wondering, why didn't I take the financial aspect of my creativity serious? And the book is called Win Without Pitching Manifesto. It's one book I always tell all creatives to read. And you were just quoting some gems that the author talked about. But now, okay, you talked about digital marketing, you talked about Vicky James. I 100% agree with you. She knows her audience, she knows what exclusivity does for people, and she is not going to negotiate with you. This is the price, this is the price. How do you go from owning your craft when you just get started? What would you advise someone to do in the creative industry? Because Vicky James has been working on it for years. Ilda Bachi had been working for years. How would you advise someone to start? Because right now everybody is always like, oh, I need to get paid before I get to do anything. My time is money, but they've not owned their creative gift. What would be your response to that? We can't hear you, unfortunately. I don't know. Your audio is bad. I was really looking forward to hearing what you were saying. No, I can't hear you. Okay. What we'll do is we'll give you a couple of to try again. Maybe disconnect and come back, and then I will add you back to the call because your audio is completely disconnected. Okay. All right. So we're talking about the business of creativity. The conversation was supposed to be about unlock your creative career through creative thinking. And As usual, when we get started, we go with the flow of the conversation because it has led me to think about the business of creativity. Creativity has become an industry that people take advantage of, and many people's creative gifts have been monetized without them getting a part of that piece of cake. Now, how do we now acknowledge our creative gifts, improve our creative gifts, and then start charging what we're worth? That was the conversation we were about to start having. But I want to take you a few steps back to what DayoIce said. He said a couple of things I think you should notice. He said it's not about being the best in the room. It's about understanding the business side. It's about understanding yourself so well. You understand your strengths, you understand your weaknesses, and you understand your position. And he gave an example of Vicky James, uh, creative in the Nigerian
Yeah,
sector.
can you hear me now?
Loud and clear. I was giving a recap of what we discussed.
So sorry about
And
that.
someone like Vicky James understanding the business of creativity. So now I talk to you about starting up. When people start up, what do you reckon they should do in order for them to become the best in their field? Because when you start off, you're not really good. So what's your advice? Thank you.
Okay, so firstly, I don't know if we, so I actually have a book. I wrote my book recently, and these are part of the things I wrote out in the book. So, as a creative, talented person that wants to make money from your gift, from your talent, the first thing, the first thing you need to do, the first thing you need to do is to look for someone making money from that field. So you might think you might have a talent, right? You might have a talent that you really want to do, but you need to also be sure people are making money from there, right? Because it doesn't make sense to waste 20, 30 years of your life chasing a particular career, a particular talent that nobody makes money from. So it's different when people are not making enough money from it. So probably they're not doing the right things or they're not talking to the right people. But if people are not making money from it, I mean, you can always sit back, relax, and say, am I sure I want to pursue this career? Because as an individual, I believe at least every individual can do over 10 things. But most times we might not even know, right? So I might be very good with flying a private jet or an aeroplane. That might be my talent. But how would I know when I've not even tried it before? So your environment too matters. So you might have a talent that, but because of your environment, you don't even know. So let's assume someone that's never been to school before and is supposed to be a mathematical genius, but he has not even stepped room into a classroom. So how is he going to know? Right? So I believe every individual, we have more than 10 talents that we can make money from, right? But there's always one, probably because of your environment, there's one or two that we will discover early on in life. And when you discover these talents, look around you. Who is making money from this talent? When you see this person making money from this talent, thank God for social media. You can reach out to them via DM. Most of them might not respond fine. You can buy their books, you can download or check their videos online. You can sign up for coaching sessions, right? So once you have so you need to have a mentor. So it's not, you don't have to be friends with the person. The person doesn't have to know your name. You don't have to be in their circle. All right. Somebody can be your friend, somebody can be your mentor or coach from afar. Once you've discovered and identified that, oh, this person makes money from this, I want to be like this person. Watch out for this person. When they release a book, you buy it. Once they call for a coaching program or training and you can join, please, by all means, you join them. Once you've done this part, then you look at your audience, right? Who are my audience? So a lot of people make this mistake. They think we all have to sell for the premium and classy people like the Vicky James. No, no. We still need some people that we sell for the people on the streets. So now let's assume you buy, I'm speaking from Lagos, Nigeria. So let's assume that there's a product for 20 pounds or $20, right? That's the business I do. 20 pounds, $20. That's how much I sell my product. Trust me, if I sell 200,000 of that particular product, I've made money. Whereas we still have people that will tell you, oh, this is what they sell is exclusive. It's 20,000 pounds. They can just sell 5 or 10. They've also made money. And trust me, the one for 20,000 pounds doesn't come every time. It doesn't come every time. So there's no advantage, there's no disadvantage. Don't say because everyone is exclusive, everyone is classy. Oh, me too, I need to target the classy. I need to no. The people below the belt, they also need someone to attend to them. They need someone to serve them. That's why you see a lot of investors coming to a country like Lagos, Nigeria. They tell you no money in Nigeria, no money, but you still see people coming to invest, coming to start up a company. That's because you can make money from the mass audience, right? So after finding a mentor, you need to know the audience you want to work with. Who do I want to sell to? Do I want to sell to the classy premium people? Do I want to sell to the people below the classy premium people? Do I want to sell to people in between? Because these people, because when you've identified this, it will now determine how you charge, your pricing, your dressing, how you address them, the media to reach them, right? So everything is actually in stages, right? So anyone that is in Lagos that is listening, I would advise you to get my book. You get everything in my book. So identify a mentor in your field,
Mm-hmm.
identify your audience. After identifying your audience and who you want to target, then you look at the pricing. You look
Right.
at the pricing. Yeah, you shouldn't charge. You shouldn't. I mean, your audience will determine your pricing. So I'm a firm believer of the fact that you need to increase your value before you increase your price. All right.
Fantastic.
A lot of people just say, "Oh, this person is charging 20,000 pounds. I want to start charging 20,000." No, you can't do that. As your value gone up, is your value the same as this person's value?
Mm-hmm.
Do you get what I'm saying? So you need to increase your value first before you increase your price. So I'll touch these three for now, and I believe this should help for now.
This is quite useful. Let me a bit. You said mentorship. Mentorship is not about being friends with the person, but it's about learning. You can learn from a distance, invest in them, and then they may or may not acknowledge you, but you are learning at the end of the day. It's about knowing who you are speaking to, your audience. And your audience should determine your price. But your craft as itself, the value you bring to the conversation or to this should also be important. So you don't just think that, oh, people are making money in this area, let me go and get there. You improve yourself and then you can create more value and add value to the pot. I hope I got everything correctly.
Yes, you did. Yes.
Oh, fantastic. And I think it brought me to something else. In the digital age, it's easy for people to see people that to say, oh, this person's an overnight success. This person is has blown immediately. This person just started yesterday, they've blown. What would you say to the generation that is used to quick turnovers about owning their craft and sitting in their craft and working on themselves before they even start thinking about going viral or exploding, for lack of better words, or blowing?
I didn't get that question.
So I said sometimes people have this conversation that they see somebody like Kevin Hart, they'll say, "Oh, he blew up overnight." They see somebody like him, they don't see the work that goes on behind the scenes. So all they want to do is replicate what you've done in their own words, how you blew overnight, but they don't understand the value of hard work, the value of commitment, the value of all these things. So how will you speak to somebody that thinks it's so easy that they can just wake up one morning, turn their camera on, and they're going to be the best? What would you say to someone like that in this that is trying to create a creative path for themselves?
I'm just going to make this clear. Like we all know that there's no overnight celebrity. It's just the ones that you know. You know, a lot of people are doing the hard work behind the scene. So when they eventually blow up, like you rightly said, we'll not assume that, oh, this person just blew up from nowhere. No, nobody blew up from nowhere. They've been working behind the scene. And if there's anyone here that wants to just that feel, oh, because this person did it overnight, and that's why when you look at someone like Hilda Basi, a lot of people have tried replicating what she did and they have failed woefully, right? So the Ghanaian woman did 216 hours and Guinness World Record, they cancelled it, right? So that's to tell you that you can't use someone's map to success. You need to draw up to your own map. You need to have your own map. You can't say because this guy did this thing, I need to do it. So it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. If the battery was ready, she planned for almost 5 years. She went through a fitness class. She went through a fitness journey. She registered at the gym. She worked on her recipe. She did a lot of 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours all day cooking before she now did the one she did that went viral, right? So there's no overnight success. It's just so sad that it's when people blow up that we now acknowledge them that, oh, where have this guy been? Where have you been? I don't know if for those of us that are Christians and you're very familiar with the Nigerian IG page, you know Pastor Femi Lazarus, right? He's the one everywhere these days. Pastor Femi Lazarus, Pastor Femi Lazarus. And the truth is, that man has been preaching for long. As a matter of fact, I even heard he used to have an Instagram page that was like 300K followers that he lost. That IG took away from him, basically, right? Over 300K followers. I didn't know him then. And now look at that man, he's almost at 1 million, if not over 1 million. So some people will be like, where have you been? He has been around, he has been doing the work behind the scene. It's just like me now. A lot of people don't know me. That's the truth. As much as I'm working, I've done this. A lot of people don't know me. So tomorrow I do one major wedding. I do 2, 3, 4 celebrity wedding, and I'm everywhere. People are like, this guy, where have you been? The guy just blew from nowhere. No, I didn't blow from that. I'm working. I'm putting in the work, right? So this year alone, I've done over 40 weddings. This year alone, and this is just March.
Very
I
much.
have like 40. I have like 40 bookings for the year already. I have like 10 international jobs, right? I have like 10 international jobs, right? I have Canada, US, UK, Europe. I have like 5 jobs in Europe, right? So all these jobs, a lot of people still don't know me. If not for this session we're having now, you've never heard about me before, you don't know me. So now imagine tomorrow I do one major wedding and poof, I am everywhere. Then people are like, this guy just blew from anywhere. No, I've been doing it, but I mean, it gets to a point where, and that was what I was discussing with my wife, that see, you need to keep doing something, and you get to a point that it will just go viral, especially this viral age. It will just go everywhere. So you need to be consistent with something. Although you also need to be sure that thing is making you money, because you can be consistent in doing the wrong thing. So don't waste your time. You can be consistently doing the wrong thing. So that's why you need to look for people making money from it. So if people are making 1 million naira from something, that means you can make 5 million naira from it with the right strategies, the right adverts, the right placement, putting yourself at the right time, putting yourself in front of the right audience. So no, there's no overnight success, and I won't advise anyone to use anybody's map or to try to replicate anyone's results. So replicate people's hard work, not their results.
Replicate people's hard work, not their results. I absolutely love that. As in, you said you booked 40 weddings. We're in March, 12 weeks, 40 weddings. Okay, you're working. I don't know when you have time to rest. How did you create time for us? But I know we shouldn't replicate people's hard work, but I want to know your story a little bit, because that's what we were supposed to talk about before. When you gave a definition of creativity, I was like, we needed to get into this. How did you and why did you choose to become an MC? How did you get into it, and how long have you been doing it? So you could share your story with us a little bit.
So for me, I used to be a banker. Right? I worked in a bank for 8 years. Right? I worked with a bank in Nigeria for 8 years. I did a master's in Lagos Business School. So if you know anything about Lagos Business, you know how expensive it is. And I did this from so I was paying from my money and all that. Then, I mean, it was a very tough season in my life. That was 2014, 2015, 2015, 2016, 2017. It was a very tough time because, I mean, I don't want to go into details basically, but my salary was like 142,000 naira. And this master's I was doing was about 5 million naira. And trust me, there was, of course, I'm not gonna say I'm from a poor background, but your parents have other things to do, your other siblings are there. So you can't just rush home and tell them to, that would be so unfair. Right? So I had to sort this money myself. So it was a lot of hard work, it was a tough time, right? So a friend of mine just told me, oh, he wants to venture into the MC business. And in my mind, I'm like, MC. to talk, ladies and gentlemen. I'm like, no, 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 no. I'm a banker. I'm bigger than that. How can I go to people's events when my mates are working with Chevron, Shell, the top companies? How will I go there and say I want to be an MC? But within a year, I saw this guy started flying around Nigeria, started flying to Dubai, Abuja. And I was like, I can actually do this thing this guy is doing. This job seems like fun. And that was why I talked about you need to look for someone making money from whatever you want to do. You need to look for someone already doing well. So if you have a talent or it's something that is like, I have this talent, I want to do this thing. Look for someone. If you can't find anybody on earth, right? Or if you can't find more than 5 people making money from it, you probably should look at your second talent. All right. So I don't think it's advisable to probably pursue that. So I already saw this guy doing well. I was like, wow. And then my salary was 142,000 naira, right, in the bank. And I reached out to him. I went out with him 3 times. Then I went back to the drawing board. I said, okay, so then this brings me to your own USP. You need to have something that sets you apart from every other person. You need to have something that makes you stand out, because you can't do it where every other person is doing it. You keep getting the same results. I dare say I'm the most traveled MC in Nigeria. Like, I can tell you that. Last year alone, I did over 15 international events. Trust me, I don't think I know any MC comedian that did that. And it was for a wedding. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So now imagine doing that. So you need to replicate your results. You need to look at people already doing this and making money from it. So I said, okay, if this my guy is making money from this thing, how can I be different? I need to come into this, because people will look for you when you are different and you're doing the same thing, right? But you're doing it differently. People like when something is different, something is unique. So I went to the drawing board. I said, okay, I'm going to do games. These people don't do a lot of games, because I wanted to do jokes. Like, okay, I'm going to come for my event, crack jokes and another. But I checked all the videos on YouTube. They were not even funny to me. They were not even funny to me, right? So why should I do jokes? So then it dawned on me that then the Holy Spirit laid it on my heart to learn the art of games. So I started checking YouTube for games, interactive games, couple games. So when I started, trust me, a lot of people were like, oh, who be this one? Are you going to do game for wedding? So for those of us that might not understand that, they were like, who is this guy going to people's events, people's weddings to do games, right? I mean, it was a battle, because comedians, because the norm then as at 2014 backward, 2015 was to do jokes at wedding. Nobody does games at wedding. And I also dare say I'm one of the, in fact, as a matter of fact, I think I'm one of the guys, if not the main guy, that made games popular at weddings, right? Especially in Nigeria, right? So I started doing a lot of games at events, doing games. And I mean, it's such a breath of fresh air. Like, planners see it and like, this thing is new, it's different, it's not the same jokes. Because a planner can use one MC 5 or 10 different times, and it is the same set of jokes, the same jokes back to back. But for games, some planners have not seen that before, so they're always wild, like, oh, this is different, this is new. We want you to come and do this. We want you to do this at our event, So that was how it started. So basically, my story is just been, I entered the industry after learning from my guy. I mapped out my USP. I wanted to be different. I wanted to be unique, right? And by God's grace, we are here. And I also realized, oh, I can take this internationally. I can do this. Trust me, as a 2020, I didn't even have a UK visa. As a 2020, I had just a Dubai visa. No, I think I had a UK visa. Yeah, but as a 2019, yeah, I didn't have any visa. I didn't. But now, by God's grace, I have virtually all the visas you can think about. So basically, when you think about it, when God lays it on your heart, when you think about it, there's a way. You just have to also find a way. It might not be easy, but once it's laid on your heart to pursue or see it through, there is a way. So thankfully, thank God I didn't argue when it was laid on my heart that, oh, you can do weddings internationally, right? Thank God I didn't say, oh, how many people do I know that does wedding internationally? It's not possible. But I was like, okay, so what's the first thing to do? And I went through it. I got my passport. I applied, and I mean, the rest, like they say, is history. So I hope I've been able to answer your question.
You've been able to answer it in such a wonderful way. I'm just going to recap what you said because I absolutely love something you said. You said there was a lot of self reflection and self learning. So you had to not just follow everybody's footprints, but you were intentional about being different. You understood your own unique selling points, and then you were able to network. So you were able to network with the wedding planners and things like that. So you were not just trying to do it like every other person, but you realized that this was an industry that was oversaturated. You need to find a way to make yourself different and then present yourself to the world. So you were not just thinking about the gift only of improving your speaking, improving the way you interact with people. You are also looking at the business side of it, about the fact that this can make me money and kind of give me the independence that I need, the financial independence that I need to do what I want to do. And I think that's absolutely fantastic because basically what you just said is you did your branding yourself. You didn't need a brand strategist like me. You did your branding by yourself.
Thankfully, I'm an advert and branding person, so
Also,
it helped. My first and second degrees were in branding and
okay.
adverts. So I think it comes to play at the on the long run.
Okay. This brings to a question. Is education important now that we're going to an era where companies like Google are saying they're not looking at qualifications anymore? Do you think education is still important?
So basically, we need to look at what is education to start with. So for us, we think when they tell you about education, the first thing that comes to our mind is the classroom. So education. So when Google tells you, oh, we don't want someone that is educated, what they are saying, they are not saying they don't want someone that has not learned. What they're saying is probably they don't want someone that has gone through maybe the classroom, or someone that is a brain, a genius, a bookworm, right? Because you will agree with me, you see, most times bookworms are restricted. It's very few of them that actually can make money on the street without the book. I don't know if you get my point. So bookworms are like, they've learned this thing in the classroom, and that's it. Then they want to work for someone. They want to, and you see someone that is not more of a bookworm. Is not a bookworm as such, but he has the strategies. He understand the business side of his talent. He understand the business. He understand street. He understand what to do at the right time. These things they don't teach them in the classroom. They don't teach them in the classroom. So when you say education is important, but what are you being? What are you learning? So what they are saying is, see, university, secondary, all these things are, it's fine. If they are not major like Nigeria now, we take university and all that, MSc, everything, we take it seriously. But abroad, they don't, because even if you do you know how much in Lagos or Nigeria, do you know how much even abroad, do you know how much you pay a plumber? Do you know how much you pay a carpenter? Do you even know how much you pay a painter? So imagine the time we used in going to school, that, oh, we went secondary school, primary school, university, almost 16 years of our life. Imagine we use that time to learn carpentry. Imagine you use that time to learn plumbing. Imagine you use that time to learn electricity, being an electrician. Imagine we use that time to learn something, even being an MC, or learn fashion designing, right? We don't look at the Vicky James. She didn't go to school. Of course, she went to primary and secondary school, but she does not have any major degree. Her first degree, she doesn't, unless she's working on it now. So my point is, education is important, but what you are learning is even more important. These days in Lagos, I mean, you see a lot of graduates. People will tell you, I finished with the first class, I finished with the 2-1, I finished with the this. It's just very few of them that are making money, because the time they were supposed to learn what was going to really make them survive out there, they were in the classroom. Of course, classroom is good, right? Classroom is perfect, but classroom is not the end of the world. So, and our generation, education has failed us in Nigeria, not abroad. I mean, abroad, once you have a good degree, you get a good job. But in Lagos, Nigeria, I mean, education, you see a lot of people finish with 2-1, first class, and they are struggling. And you're like, oh, wow, this is so sad. So imagine we are not all focused on getting first class, going to the university, but rather want to learn some other aspects of life, right? So I hope you get my point, though.
100%, I get your point. I also agree with you to a large extent that degrees are good because you build certain skills as you do them. The four walls of a school are good, but they're not created for everyone. Someone like me, I'm a neurodivergent, but I love studying. So I'm a lifelong learner. So no matter what, I will be looking for something new to learn. There are some people that don't have the capacity I have when it comes to reading. They will rather just learn from others or do social learning. Some people just use their degree and they're able to climb up the corporate ladder. Everybody has their own path. And if we're waiting for someone to come and give us a path right now, especially now that we have access to so much information online, it's going to be difficult for anybody to do that for you. You have an opportunity to, no one is going to grade you. And that's still with setting goals. And that's one thing I love about your ambition. If you said you wanted to be an MC and you just went with your guy, nobody would have followed up with you to say, are you doing what you said you wanted to do? No one would have said, are you using your advertising degree? Are you bringing that in? You had to hold yourself accountable. So I think what I love about your story is the part that you do a lot of reflection. There's this self accountability, but there's something else you talked about, and that's what I will call the God factor. I'm not the one that brought that up, but we all know about that word, the God factor. You say your faith plays a major role in what you do. Do you mind sharing, or that's a topic you don't want to talk about?
Oh no, of course, why not? So it does, yeah, because for someone like me, I get a lot of ideas when I pray, right? Because some of the things I do, they are new, they are unique, they are different, so I'm inspired by the Holy Spirit. And I can tell you it's the Holy Spirit, obviously, because, I mean, I don't know where else they would come from. So I can't go into details, but I know the story of my life, and trust me, no one else can tell the story of my life like I will. So, and I dare say that, see, I can tell you from the first time I applied for my first visa. Do you know that as at the first time I bought my US visa, 2021 2021, when I went to buy the US visa, I didn't even like US. I didn't even have plans to travel to US, right? So when I registered for the US visa and all that, but there was no date. The date we had was 2023. The date we got was 2023 July, right? 2023 July. And for me, to be honest, I was not even bothered. I didn't even like US like that, right? 2023 January, two people reached out to give me a job in the US for 2023 November. Do you get what I'm saying? That's not coincidence. So God saw it. God has seen it. That this guy, even though you're claiming you don't like the US, but 2023, you will have two clients that will reach out to you for US. So now buy this your visa, get it ready. Right? Because I was in my office and the Holy Spirit laid it on my heart. I see, go to GTB and buy US visa as a US visa. Even the UK where I get, I've not even gone to UK more than 3 times, right? But man, I listened. I went there, I got the visa, I applied, and I saw the date 2023, and that was just 2020, late 2020 or 2021. I was like, oh, imagine 2023. So I left it there. But someone reached out to me January, February, like, you know what? We want to give you a job in the US for November. And I was like, wow. So that was when I took the visa seriously. So yes, my faith plays a lot of role. I'm not going to say I prayed 10, 20 hours, but I spent time in prayer because I believe a lot of ideas, I'm influenced a lot from the place of prayer. And I mean, a lot of people can be influenced by different things. Some will tell you they need to smoke to get influenced. Some will tell you, oh, they need to talk to some, some mentors and all that. Of course, it's good to have mentors and all that, but I know where I get in fact, some of the things I've done, some mentors have not done it. Some mentors don't see it as possible. I mean, I can count how many times people travel out of Lagos to do events outside Nigeria. I mean, it's not a norm. It's something you do once in a while. I mean, is it that they don't have MCs in these countries, right? But I was influenced to think. I mean, I can even talk to a mentor that, can I do this? And some mentors will tell you, oh no, that is not possible. But when you spend time in prayer, God will inspire you and let you see, this thing is possible. This is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. These are the people you need to talk to. And that's it. So yes, my faith is a major factor, a major part of my success. And I spend time in prayer. Your prayer don't have to be so much. You don't have to start from 1 hour, 2 hours, 30 minutes. No. As little as 1 minute, 2 minutes. The fact is you just have to be consistent. And praying, I mean praying in tongues, because you can get bored easily. when you pray, oh, our Father, eventually you need to pray in tongues, because you can do that with time. I hope I'm not.
No, you
I'm
you
not.
you answered perfectly. One thing you said is you get inspiration from the Holy Spirit, which is fantastic. And that is not just praying whenever you have a need. You pray consistently because sometimes some people see God as this guy that has an ATM machine. Only when we need something we go to him. But you've shown us that it's about going to God consistently, and that's what fires you up. You also talked about the fact that people, you do certain things and they are new in the industry. Some people can copy you, but they don't know where your source is. They don't know your source at all. They don't know your source, so they can copy the past. Oh, your audio is bad again. I can't hear you. They can copy the source, they can copy certain things, but they never know where you are getting things from. And that's the truth. People are watching what you do. As a creative, this is what I always tell creatives. As a creative, don't be bothered when people copy you. Don't. Don't be bothered when people steal from you because they've stolen just one aspect of your creative journey and you are looking forward, not looking back. I'm not saying don't protect yourself. I'm saying that you have to look forward. By looking for who is copying and who is doing what you're doing, I think you are going to move your eyes from the price because there's a price in the future. And if you set your roadmap, you're on the right path. All right, I'm there.
So sorry. A lot of calls keep coming. Business people. We have people reaching out to you
I
for.
understand. We just have a few more minutes and we'll be able to give you freedom to go back to everybody.
So can I ask you a question though? So what we're doing, I can see the people online. So we have people from all around
Yes,
joining.
so they have okay. Let us know where you're joining from. Let us know where you're joining from in the comments. Please let us know where you're joining from. And if you have any question for DayoIce, I had questions that I had to abandon because it was such an amazing conversation that just kept going about the creative industry and about creativity. And one thing I was saying when you got disconnected was that when people copy you and you're bothered about, oh, this person copied me, you're forgetting that there's something that they've not seen. They've not seen your entire vision. They've seen just one aspect. So you're trying to beat them for doing that. You've lost focus. Focus on the price. Protect your creative things. If you have to write a book, put it in a book like you did. So tell us a bit about your book.
Okay, so if you're in Lagos, I would advise you to get a book. I'm going to be in London next month, even though I'll just be passing through. So I don't know if I can drop in London. I'm going to be in US. So if you're in US, you can reach out to me. If you're going to be in Houston, Dallas, New York, so you can reach out to me if you need a book. So trust me, that's one of the best book out there for entrepreneurs, for MCs. So it talks about how to grow from scratch to I'm not there yet. I don't want to be cocky, I'm not there, but trust me, I've done a lot of work, So I started 2016, and I dare say I'm one of the top three MCs in Nigeria, and I'm not third. All right, so I'll probably be one or two, depending on who you are asking. So it takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of strategy, it takes a lot of prayer. So we're grateful to God that we are here, basically. So my book has all these details. So my book has pricing, target audience, how to make money, how to deal with family and friends, how to use different platforms for advert, how to brand yourself. Has a lot about branding, how to use the social media, how to handle your mentor, how to have mentors, how to handle your mentees. Trust me, it is loaded. So basically, I poured out all the experience I've gathered over the years. I poured it out into this book, and it's an amazing, amazing. Sadly, it's not on Amazon yet. It's just available in Lagos,
What's the
Ghana.
name of the book?
So it's guides, MC guides for DayoIce MC guides for MCs.
Okay, fantastic. And this is a book that is not just for MCs. Entrepreneurs
Yeah,
can get from you.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes.
are in the creative industry, so everyone should support Dayo by going to get a copy of his book. And if you get a copy of his book, tag us to say yes, and tag him to say, I got this book because I listened to you on this show. That would be fantastic to hear. So we're coming close to the end, and I'm ready. At this time, I do a rapid fire session with people. And I love books. And you've written a book. So apart from your book, what other books have influenced you in your on your journey?
The truth is, I probably when I started Secret of the Street, I read Secret of the Street by Teju Babyface. I read a book by Ayula, What Every MC Should Know. Basically, I'm not going to lie to you. I know this might sound, but I'm actually not. I know it's not what everybody would tell you. It's not so common, but I'm not more of. I barely read, right? But I listen more. Probably listen to people, listen to mentors, listen to watch videos. So I'm not more of a reader per se. So I don't know. I know you're gonna crucify me for that, but I'm
No,
not.
I wouldn't.
I'm
I
not just
think
gonna come here and
people understand themselves. Some people listen to podcasts. They
yes, I
listen
listen to
to
podcasts.
podcasts.
Yeah.
Exactly. And
So
you
this,
know how you learn. Oh, that's nice.
yeah.
Oh, I love the cover. And the font just stands out. That looks like an amazing book. So
So this is
please,
DayoIce
I want to get
ultimate,
it.
yeah, DayoIce ultimate guide for MCs and event hosts.
Absolutely fantastic. I'm looking forward to grab a copy when you're in London.
Okay.
Okay, final question. I'm saying final, but I may change my mind. If you have to choose one digital platform to be on, what would your platform of choice be? If you can be only on one platform, what platform would that be?
For now, definitely Instagram. Definitely Instagram. I
You need
get,
to
I get,
get on TikTok. You need to get on
no,
TikTok.
no, I get 90% of my jobs from Instagram. TikTok are like the new generation. I mean, most of these guys are not ready to get married. Most of the people on TikTok are not ready to get married,
You
right?
know what? There's a misconception about TikTok, and the misconception that is just for Gen Zs. That's not
Not,
true.
not really. I don't agree, but
Yeah.
yeah, I feel for TikTok, it's not for now though. For now, the
Mhm.
TikTok is not where you go to look for an MC or look for a product.
No,
I
TikTok
don't
is a search engine. So what people do now is this: when they want to find a restaurant or find an host or find a makeup artist or anything, they go on TikTok. So even Google has started bookmarking TikTok videos.
oh
It's
wow.
shocking. So it's a platform that we hope you will consider. So guys,
Okay.
it was wonderful having you because I will just
Take
recap
care.
a little bit about what we talked about. I think I love the fact that you were vulnerable and transparent. I love the fact that you talked about creative thinking in a different way and you shared your creative journey. You talked about mentorship and the importance of understanding that mentorship is not just about gaining from somebody and being their best friend, but it's about learning, and you can learn by supporting the person in one way or the other. And my last question for you as we round up will be: do you have any last words for us? Anything you want people to take home from this conversation?
Yeah, basically, I just wanted. It's a great job you guys are doing, and this is amazing. I really look forward to being invited for a conference you guys will be doing in London, US, and you have thousands of people or thousands of entrepreneurs, thousands of young and old people coming around to listen to your speakers. This is a fantastic thing you guys are doing. So, and I also like to tell any entrepreneur there struggling or just trying to start up from where they are. You can do whatever you set your mind to do. However, you need to make sure what you're trying to do has been done before, right? People are making money from it. Because you can also be doing the right thing and you're doing it the wrong way. You can be doing the wrong thing and you're doing it the right way. So you can also be doing something that you feel like, oh, this is my, and that's why you see a lot of people doing the same thing over the years, 10, 20 years, and they're still at a spot, right? That's because they were not seeing. So you need to see. You need to see people that are doing well in a particular field. So whatever it is you're doing, whatever it is you want to do, look for someone that has done something closely related to that, or someone doing exactly that, and they are making money from it. So these are the people that should inspire you. Of course, they shouldn't even limit you. You can go far than where they are or than where you actually met them, right? But trust me, you start from somewhere. So please be inspired. You can do it. spend times in prayer. God is going to guide you, give you ideas, influence your mind. Trust me, it's going to give you ideas that is even way more than what a mentor can give you, right? Spend time, do what works for you. A lot of people do this from reading. A lot of people get inspired from talking to people. A lot of people get inspired from praying. Do what works for you, right? Do what works for you. Put yourself out there. You can be the number one in your field. No matter the number you are right now, you can be the number one in your field. I'm talking from experience, right? So that's it.
Thank you so much. We got a last minute question that I just have to ask. Someone said, how can individuals effectively handle the aftermath of unexpectedly gaining widespread attention online? I'd love to hear your perspective.
So this is basically going viral unexpectedly. So like I said, if you've been putting in the work, if it's not just a sudden fame, it's something you're expecting. So for someone like me, of course, I'm expecting that one job. I am eager. So let's now assume it just happens for you and you're not expecting it. Just happened and you're everywhere and everybody wants your product, everyone wants to say, you might probably need to. That's why a mentor is important. You need to talk to someone that has been there. There's always someone that has gone through that process. Talk to them. How did they handle it? And that's why you don't have to be proud. You don't have to do this journey alone. Talk to someone that is ahead of you, right? It could be your friend. It could be talk to them. And that's why give gifts to people. Don't call them or reach out to them when you need them. Give gifts to people. Send birthday cakes. Send messages. Send vouchers. Send your kids gifts. So that the day you need them, they won't look like you're trying to take advantage of them, right? When you have a mentor that has already done what you want to do, it will be easy for you to reach out to this person and say, hello, sir, hello, ma, see what I'm going through. When you were here, how did you handle it? Trust me, that's one of the main things mentors are meant for. They're going to guide you and tell you, oh, when I was there, this is what I did, this is what I did. Very simple. And you'll be like, oh, is this what I was wondering or bothered about? All right. Another thing you can do is talk to a strategist. We have a lot of people online that can help you arrange your schedule, a social media manager. So I don't know in detail what exactly you're talking about, but I have a feeling you're probably in demand and all that. But talk to someone that someone that's already done the stage you are now. Someone has crossed that stage and they're still doing very well, right? They are in the next stage you want to be. So talk to them, tell them, see the stage you passed, I'm here. How should I do it? What should I do? And that's my advice.
I think that's an amazing answer because what you're telling people to do is meet someone that would help them collapse time because you're trying to do what somebody else has done. And if you talk to this person, if you're transparent and if you've built a relationship, then you can learn from them. I just want to say thank you so much, Dayo, for coming in today. It was wonderful having you. And hopefully we'll see you soon in London.
Yes, very soon. Thank you so much, DK.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. Thank you so much.
Sorry, before you go, where can people find you?
On IG, DayoIce.
Okay.
DayoIce as spelled DayoIce. On all social media platforms, actually. All. Facebook, Twitter, IG, YouTube, DayoIce. But if you want to send me a message or reach out to me, it's DayoIce. Definitely
Okay.
DayoIce.
All right. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Dayo Ice.
Such a pleasure.
Thank you so much for listening to us today. It was wonderful having Dayo Eyes, and the conversation was wonderful. I think one thing I will take home from this conversation is about mentorship. It's about building relationships with your mentor and not just waiting for them to do something for you. We are 3PN. We are committed to helping you achieve your dreams by creating that environment where we could have conversations like this where you could learn. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is DK Jonah, and I will see you on the next interview. Bye.